chill.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the 2022 Toy Fair reveals. Oh my goodness, I was gonna cover all of them, and then just new things kept getting released, and I was like, oh my, it's too much. I don't know where to start. That's what always happens with me. I get overwhelmed. I always want to do the best job possible. And then when the task becomes so big, I'm like, I'm going to procrastinate until I just don't do it. So instead, I've decided I am going to cover my top 10 Toy Fair reveals from most excited to most more excited. I realized I started the scale on the wrong end there. So guys, this is my top 10 with an honorable mention 2022 Toy Fair reveals. First off, an honorable mention of the Mezco Atticus Doom, because was he mentioned like years ago? Is this an old thing? I was so annoyed and confused because I saw this commercial trailer, this beautiful stop motion animation trailer for Atticus Doom, and I was like, that looks so freaking cool. The Cthulhu head, the magic effects, the cloth goods, the noir, weird, outer worldly sort of presence and appearance. All the things that I really, really dig. Went to find out when he's up for pre-order, and it's like, no, pre-orders have closed. This is done. You can go on the waiting list if you want. And I was like, wait, what happened? So I'm still trying to figure this one out. I've had trying to keep my finger on the pulse of the toy industry for about a year or so now, and somehow this completely passed me by. Confused! Not happy about that. I want my Atticus Doom, so hopefully the waiting list will pay off. So this was a reveal for me, but apparently not for anyone else who already had him pre-ordered. I'm confused. And now with the top 10. So coming in at number 10, we have Hasbro Marvel Legends Speedball. We just had the Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse reveal show last night, and honestly, there was nothing amazing on there that I was particularly impressed with or excited about. Rhino looks cool, but I've got the Build-A-Figure. Thor looks very impressive, whole new sculpt on him, but then again, I'm not collecting the modern characters. So the one that's most exciting for me, I think, is Speedball, another addition to the New Warriors team. We love team building, and Speedball looks good with a couple of caveats. The main thing is that the sculpt looks great, paintwork looks great, and the face with the clear goggles, that looks great, so I'm really happy with that. It's a real shame that they haven't included any power effects. That's like a real, come on guys. Speedball's whole thing is he's surrounded by all these speedballs. And also when you look at him in the box, there's this massive void of empty space next to him. It looks really bad. It looks like cheap and like there's something missing. Yeah, there is something missing. Speedball effects. That's ridiculous that I'm doing my top 10 ranking and my first entry I'm giving out about not liking a thing on the list when I sacrificed other things on the list to put him on there. That's what you do to me, Hasbro. You really confuddle me. Even more so than Mezco's pre-ordering release date thing, which is still, I'm going to be harking on for that one for a while. Someone help me find Atticus Doom, alright? I'm like a bear with a sore head now. But yeah, Speedball, I'm going to be very happy to add him to the New Warriors. And what the hell? I'll just pilfer some power effects from someone else. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I'm looking at you, Shocker. And then I remembered Shocker fell off my shelf. Wasn't looking at anyone. In the number 9 spot, we have Thor Love and Thunder figures. As there was a lot of THs and Fs there. The Thor Love and Thunder figures. Wow, I just said it again to make my life harder. This is really exciting because it's just an official kind of reveal as to what these costumes and characters are going to look like. We've seen some posters, we've seen some hints, but now we've got the actual figures, and they look great, mainly because I'm so happy to see kind of classic Thor back, but with some of the beard and braids and other stuff. Of all the characters in the MCU, he seems to have evolved the most in his look, taking little elements of things that came before, and now we have this 10-year evolution of Thor. That's really cool. And then we have Jane Foster as Lady Thor as well, or maybe she'll just go as Jane Foster. I don't know. Either way, that looks really cool too. I love that they've pretty much taken the comic book design and gone, boom, there you go. With Multiverse of Madness coming out and then Thor, oh my goodness. This is going to be a banner year for the MCU. Now, do you like NECA? Because we're about to get a whole load of it. First of all, in the number 8 spot, the Shaman Predator. Shaman Predator? Shaman? I never know what my English pronunciation of that word should be. It just makes me think of Ebenezer Good, which is always a good time. So anyway, the Shaman Predator looks great. The Predator franchise, I feel, has been like maybe a little bit neglected by NECA over the last couple of years. It's just been turtles all the way, and I can't blame them because they sell and they look good. But now we're getting a really nice looking Shaman Predator. I'm going to switch between the two pronunciations this whole time. Why do I particularly like it? It's a little bit of cloth goods, throw a bit of a cloth rag on him, instant thumbs up in my assessment. But then the skull mask as well, the painting on that looks really gorgeous, super pretty. So that looks really cool. Just everything going on with this looks like a chef's kiss Predator. If I was collecting like a whole band of Predators, one problem I often have with them is that they don't look that dissimilar from each other, but this guy looks way more unique. I have the Alpha Predator, which I bought because he's such a unique looking version of the Predator, and this one will go really nicely next to him. They also showed more pictures of their gigantic, was it the stone Predator? I'll double check his name, but still, the size and scale of that guy, that looks immense. But still, the one I'm focusing on here is Shaman, and he looks terrific. Sticking with NECA, but a shout out to Playmates, we have TMNT Ronin. This is based on a limited series that I haven't read, but I do know the gist of. I won't give any spoilers, but basically I think the story premise is 3 of the 4 turtles are dead, and this is the last Ronin. And it was a mystery as to which turtle it was. And this is a beautiful looking NECA rendition in good old 7-inch NECA scale of this last Ronin figure. And Playmates have done kind of a classic Mirage kind of version of him as well. So either flavor you want to get, I think does this character really great justice. I need to go and read that story because everyone is telling me how good it is. So I'm kind of up for that. So maybe somewhere between doing the 10 bajillion other things that I'm trying to do right now. Honestly, I'm kind of frazzling myself at the moment. It's perma stress, but you know, we thrive on it until we collapse. But still, Last Ronin looks awesome. So that's a really cool one. And honestly, we ain't seen the last of NECA Turtles on this list. Because coming up next in the number 6 spot, we have NECA Mummy Michelangelo. I've got my NECA Frankenstein Raph behind me. Very excited to get Leonardo in his Igor kind of guise. I was going to say disguise, but no, it's a full-on kind of transformation. And this NECA Michelangelo, they put a lot of love into this figure, just like they have the other two as well. I was thinking to myself, like, how could you make the mummy sort of interesting? Because it's just the turtle in bandages, basically. But no, they've taken a lot of time to go, what can we do to zhuzh this up? And zhuzh they have. The amount of sculpting and detail, the hieroglyphs on the shell, the wrinkles, the bandages, the I don't know what they're called, but rather than nunchaku, he's got his insignia, Egyptian thingamajigs. Help me out. You know what I'm talking about. And they look really good. And then as a surprise, I was a surprise to me, 2 different heads. Also, one of which with the exposed teeth totally looks like a nod to the scary Ninja Turtles mask that was found in one of the prop stores from the movies with the teeth all exposed from where the latex is molded away. I'm sure that was an inspiration. But then the other one with the more kind of classic mummy sort of face look, really cool. I love the stop motion trailer they did for this figure. That just harkens to me, so I really dig that. But on the whole, this figure looks great. Really excited to add him to the rest of the Universal Monsters wave. In the number 5 spot, sticking with NECA, we've got the NECA Thing Dog reveal. Oh, it looks grim, gruesome, and horrible. Exactly what The Thing is all about. I hope that we see more stuff like this because The Thing is one of my favorite movies. Love that John Carpenter. And this is a perfect realization of the disgusting, transforming alien mutant creature absorbing the dog DNA and other things and transmuting itself. This is just, NECA must have been licking their lips and like, we gonna have some fun with this. So we haven't seen too many high-res up-close pictures, but just from what we can see, it looks like NECA have just done what NECA do best. Gone ham on crazy detail, paint, sculpting to really make this thing look gruesome and gnarly, and I'm excited to see more from it. And the final NECA entry on the list, NECA they brought the big guns this toy fair. There wasn't, when I was going through all of the lists and all of the reveals, I was like, there's not a huge variety. I was seeing like a lot of NECA, a lot of Turtles. There wasn't a huge sort of variance. I wanted to cover more stuff. I was like, well, what about McFarlane? What about Mafex? But there just wasn't too much to speak of that I was really excited about. So you're getting a NECA heavy list. But this one, come on, the Gargoyles? Oh my goodness, these look beautiful. Of all the new lines that NECA have kind of started over the last year or so, Gargoyles seems to be, to my eye, the most consistently well-realized action figures. You look at what's in the cartoon and then how they could translate those into three-dimensional figures. These just look stunning. We've only got a couple of pictures to go on, but as with usual when it comes to NECA, as long as you're careful, as long as you're not bashing them around, because these ain't action figure toys, these are collectible art pieces, don't you know? They look really, really pretty. I love the character that they've got in the faces, a perfect translation. These look really cool. Alright, now for the number 3 spot, we're going to move away from NECA, okay? And we're going to go over to Mezco. And the Mezco, we're still sticking with turtles though. So it's still a turtley, turtle-heavy toy fair. There's a lot of T's there. We've got the Mezco Ninja Turtles set. Oh, yes, this looks very, very cool. And I bet it's going to have a price tag to match. Just ordered the Fantastic Four. I'm not sure if I can handle the Turtles as well. But I'm just so intrigued because a company like Mezco, it's always exciting to see them handle a new property because you're like, how are they going to do it? What sort of materials, styles, forms, functions, accessories are they going to throw in to give it that Mezco quality? What's great about the Turtles, you instantly know they're going to pass the sock test because they're not wearing any cloth clothes. They might have the bandanas, maybe, but that's it. So you don't have to worry about, is he wearing a sock? No, he's wearing a shell. And just the 2 images we've had, that's all we've got to go on. They look exciting because it looks like Mirage style. But Mirage with a little bit of NECA, not NECA, what am I saying? A little bit of Mezco kind of thrown in there as well, because they always like to put their own little sort of spin on things. So it looks like a Mirage-inspired new kind of design, and I'm really up for that. I love that the first preview image was a harkening back to the classic 1990s TMNT movie poster. That's a lovely thing that instantly caught my eye. I was like, oh, hello. What have we got here? And then when I saw it was more the NECA style, which is a bit sort of uglier in a good way. You know, it's more stylized. I really like the look of that. So goodness only knows when we're ever going to see these. Probably about 2 years, 3 years. Honestly, that's not me joking. I'm coming to understand this from Mezco, and I get it. But still, at least give us some more preview pictures, because I really want to see what these guys look like. Up close, bright lights, high res. Let's see what we're getting. At the number 2 spot, speaking of just getting preview images, Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Liu Kang. We have half a face with a pending approval watermark over the top. So not much to go on. But what's got me excited, first of all, is Mortal Kombat. I love me some Mortal Kombat. I've got to do some more Mortal Kombat videos on this channel. But it's Mortal Kombat, plus it's Liu Kang, who is the franchise character. I don't care what you Scorpion stands say. It's Liu Kang is the main character from Mortal Kombat. Maybe a Scorpion. But this looks, first of all, my favorite version of Liu Kang. It looks like Mortal Kombat 3 Liu Kang, where I feel like he's just the most kind of, not a Bruce Lee clone, but his own kind of Chinese kung fu martial artist sort of thing. I think he just looks cool. I can hear his kind of sound effects in my head when I'm picturing the figure. And most exciting for me is it doesn't look like they've used the same awful face sculptors who made Mortal Kombat 3 Sub-Zero or Kung Lao, because they're bad. In my personal opinion, I think those face sculpts, the bodies are fine, but the face sculpts are really awful. Really, really awful. Which is not okay when Storm Collectibles charge a premium price and they actually have done really good human-looking faces in the past. So it's like, where's the disconnect? How did these come out so bad? Luckily, from just the side profile, it looks completely different in style, which I am so here for. So hopefully this whole pending approval thing gets approved very soon and we can see what the Storm Collectibles Liu Kang is going to look like. And finally, my number 1 Toy Fair reveal for 2022 was Mezco SpiderMan / Green Goblin. Oh, This was actually top of my wish list of fantasy products, figures I would like to see from certain companies. I was like, Mezco SpiderMan Rogues. Because you never know what this might lead to. In 20 years, we might have 2 or 3 more Rogues. Yeah, I'm ribbing on Mezco there, because I get it now. But still, this Spider-Man, they've done kind of a classic comic book Spider-Man before. But, you know, we need an upgrade, because I haven't got that one. So, give me a chance to buy a new one. This looks bright blue, very colourful. Now, look, a lot of people have said a problem with the original Spider-Man, which may still be the case here, is that if you articulate him too much, the red, sort of like the transfers of how they do his costume can crack and split. So you got to be careful with that. So I'm not saying this is going to be a perfect figure. No, it might have its issues, but honestly, at this point where I am wanting this, I don't care. You could tell me it's stuff with asbestos. I'll be like, oh, that's all right. I'll just only play with it a few hours a day. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this Spider-Man. We haven't got any idea about accessories or anything. We've only seen these 2 profile pictures. But you've got Green Goblin in the background. And that really gets me excited too. Because, stop me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we haven't had a Mezco Green Goblin. So this is the start, hopefully, of more Spider-Man Rogues. Could you imagine a Mezco Doc Ock? Mezco Vulture? Mysterio? Oh my god! So much they could do! And I will be here for it. So I'm very excited. I don't know when we're going to see any more of this. A big hope for this Spider-Man is that there'll be a separate head with big eyes, so you can have more of a 90s kind of look. I don't think that'll be the case, but we can dream a dream. Still, if this is a 2-pack Spider-Man Goblin, I'm going to buy the heck out of it. This one really got me excited. And folks, that does it for the top 10 Toy Fair reveals 2022. What did you think of the reveals? What did I miss out? What were the things that you were really excited about that I didn't even touch on? Comment below, let me know, because there are so many new releases and reveals over the last week. Like I said, I was kind of overwhelmed. I was like, I don't even know where to start with this. So a top 10, that was an easier way of me handling this. But guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Oh, excuse me. Hello there. My name is Doppelganger. You might remember me from the Spider-Man comic book story, Maximum Carnage. Or possibly when I played Rum Tum Tugger in the off-Broadway production of Cats. Regardless, I'm here to tell you that if you enjoyed this episode of Displaying Model Behavior, then you should like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you don't hit... or you do hit. Almost got myself out there. Make sure that you do hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a single episode. Also, if you would like to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, then you can join the Patreon, like these wonderful people over here, by going to patreon.com/displaying model behavior, and then you can watch all the exclusive videos on there. Also, if you would like to purchase a model behavior t-shirt like you saw David wearing in this very episode, you can do by clicking the link in the description below. Well, I think that's all of the commercialism for this episode. I'll be on my way.